toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Head toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Head toss, 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 head
Okay, so we're at the Stalking Show. It's my birthday, so of course we're on the fizz already. Happy with my good friend Caroline, who is just a badass hunter and like an inspiration to me. We do have our debates when it comes to hunting and qualifications and training. She has like a million more than me because I have none. But what I'd like to ask Caroline is, so your daughter Sophie, one of your beautiful daughters, if she were to get into hunting with you today, what would you think would be the best thing to help her as a newbie? What would be the advice that you would give her?
Obviously training. Sorry.
Okay.
Training is very important. It's not only training for self-education, but also it's get more difficult to get on the ladder for like rifles, certain caliber of rifles. And it is better to show to your farm officer that you are
something.
That you're not, with all due respect, not like a wannabe.
Yeah.
You just want a rifle for the sake of having a rifle. But and also when you get certificates.
She called me a wannabe.
No. No, what,
I love her really.
If you,
no, you're right.
And it's also when you want a 243, like a smaller caliber, or you want to grow up. It is show like why do you, because when the farm officer asks why.
Exactly.
Not because you have to red stag, like a one-off on your holiday, but it's very important just to show, you know, what you're using, and what you're going to use.
And the safety aspect, I suppose, as well. Okay, so if you're going to take someone out, whether it was your daughter or someone else, maybe my son, he's been out a few times with me, but maybe someone that has played around with their rifles a bit on targets, but not necessarily shot game for the first time, what do you think would be the best? I mean, there's no right answer. Would you take them out on rats first, on the smaller stuff, on rabbits? Would you just be like, what do you want to shoot? What do you want to eat?
No, it's always important just to see how they behave.
Yep.
Because it's all very good in the classroom, the training, and it's very good to you go out, but it's very important how you behave in certain circumstances.
Yeah.
If it's urban or if it's like I make this up, like in Scotland, very, very big white, you don't have to worry too much of like who's around you.
Yeah.
Urban environments, how people behave, because there's another very good course, sorry to bore you about the course, there's a very good course for urban environment.
I want to know more about this because I've lived in cities and I've lived in towns and I've seen the damage that muntjac especially do.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered, like, how do they get rid of these, like, pests in terms of in that environment? Like, what do you do?
And then also, like, when you're going out there stalking, like the muntjac, for example, the smaller animals, when you got people passing by, just be careful how you behave.
Yeah.
Because somebody can look for their little dog.
Yeah.
And what is it? And you see you there walking either with a rifle or with a muntjac behind you. And you think, what is that?
I happen to be on a golf course with rabbits. So they're like, who's that?
And then you know how to behave. Mm-hmm. That is.
So I would agree with you there. I think that's one of the most important things for newbies, no matter their age, is that you're talking to them about etiquette, how to behave in certain situations, you know, being careful of cars, being careful of dog walkers, if they approach you, how to talk to them, that kind of thing.
Because often you're alone.
Yeah.
So lonely worker, but again, you don't have to do the course every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Do a course, do you know, like lonely working, for example, and how to behave in front of people. You can't start swearing and shout at them, like, you know.
Exactly.
Unload the simple things, unload rifle, and then stand the animals, for example, that stand in front of it so they don't focus anymore, and then discuss where that dog is or where the child is. Try to don't get into arguments.
I love that.
Because you got a firearm in the end of the day. So
okay, and one final question before I let you go. What is your dream hunt that you haven't done already? What would it be?
Argentina, on the Patagonia, I can't pronounce it.
Patagonia?
That's the one. On a horse. That's something I would like.
Amazing.
I went to Kyrgyzstan 2 years ago. It was amazing. Again on a horse.
Yeah.
I've got fear of heights. Coming from the Netherlands, everything is flat.
Right, yeah.
And then the drop was like, you know, you got this, and it was like that. And it was extremely scary, but I did it. And
Proud of you.
It was 10 days without Wi-Fi as well, which was quite interesting.
Amazing.
And it was insane. It was very tough. I had a few meltdowns, but I'm allowed, I'm a woman. But it was amazing. I was just like, I done it.
So if I can get us the trip to Patagonia on horseback, we'll go. Yeah. But I will close my eyes the whole time. It's amazing. Drops.
It's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much. And happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, so we are with Anita, clay shooter extraordinaire. She's a friend, but and she's going to hate me to do this, but I don't care because she's amazing and she was an English champion and she's just a champion. The end. And she's an amazing woman. So I am all about obviously bringing new people into the sport because that's what happened with me. I was in my mid-20s and suddenly I was like, oh my god, like you can shoot stuff, you can like shoot clays, you can shoot your own food. So I had a bad experience as a newbie. So I'm trying to kind of talk to people and say, okay, as a newbie for you, because you were the same as me, right? You came in your mid-20s, didn't know anything. What did you like? What didn't you like? What do you wish you had more of?
What I really liked, I have to say immediately, was the fact that this was something that was a challenge.
Okay.
Really,
you're
really
naturally competitive.
I didn't realise how competitive I actually was until I got more into it, because it started off as something that was a social thing to do, something to do to get outdoors. But actually I then discovered that, oh my gosh, I am very competitive, and then that just took over my life and life completely transformed.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, and then there's a whole big wide world of shooting activities, and it's a lifestyle as well as, yes, there's a sport side to it, but then there's also this whole lifestyle side to it, and I just really, really, really love it.
So you kind of delved more and more in, the more you got into it, the more you found. So who were like your, I suppose your, not, you don't have to name names, but like your kindest people along the way, the people that, what were the moments that really shaped you in terms of positive moments in the beginning of your journey?
I was very lucky in that people that were involved with one of my little local clubs were really very friendly. So I did make friends. And then at various different stages, it is the kindness of people who are already involved with it, men as well as women. There were fewer women that I got to meet. However, women have played such a significant role in that really positive side to it. It's the women that you get involved with, that you're competing alongside, and they were just really, really awesome. I mean, you know, end of the day, when I was very, very seriously training, my training buddy was my best friend. She was the biggest competitor, and she ended up, she went to the Olympics. She beat
oh my god, she beat you?
But she was awesome. She was awesome. She's an absolutely phenomenal woman. And she's just one of them. I'd say those people that you get to meet in this, because people come from all sorts of backgrounds as well. And you do get to meet people not just from this country, but from around the world.
Yeah, that's what's amazing about it. We've got people here from Ireland, from Denmark, from Germany, like everywhere.
It brings people together, and that to me is what it's most
important. So, okay, what stage did you, in your journey, did you realise that you could actually start competing on a serious note? You've done the Olympics. You've done like
I missed the Olympics.
Actually, missed the Olympics.
I missed it. I've done the Commonwealth Games.
You've done the Commonwealth. Like, I mean, not many people can say that. So, at what point in your journey was it? Like a year in? Was it 5 years in? Where you were like, okay, actually, I'm really good at this, and not only am I good at it, but I want to get better, and I want to try and get to that level where I'm, you know.
Yeah, I would say it was actually a few months, a year to 18 months in, I sort of realised that, oh gosh, I want to do this, and I sort of like set my sight at like getting an England cap.
Okay.
So it's all like went very serious.
Which you've got, right?
And like, I got it first attempt. So I competed for England for 2 years. You're amazing. I love it. And then and then it was like went on from there, and I just like kept thinking, oh, maybe I can go higher and higher, and how am I going to get? Oh my gosh, you can get to the Olympic Games in this lot.
So what age were you then at this stage when you realised you could get to that level?
So I was close to 30.
Okay.
Maybe not even, I was under 30. But it just kept going well into my 40s as well. So it wasn't just...
And you're still here. You're still part of the community. You're a very important, pivotal part of the community as far as I'm concerned. And what I love is that you've passed on that ethos of welcoming and kind of connecting, and you know, you'll talk to people and you're like, okay, oh, you want to do that, talk to this person, I'll introduce you. And you know, I remember, I think they're about to start something on the stage. How rude. So we're gonna have to call it quits, but we're going to see each other at the BDS event today.
Yes, I'm definitely going to be there.
We're going to be drinking together later again.
It's nice to get together
it's my birthday.
With people, but yeah, you've got to celebrate a birthday. Come on, Nicole's birthday is a very, very special day.
Yeah, so we've been talking about Jamie's journey. Obviously, we want to focus on how do we get new people into the sport. It doesn't matter what age, doesn't matter what background, doesn't matter the gender. And how do we make them feel comfortable as well, and not intimidated by anything? So obviously, I know you started really recently, right, getting into this.
Basically,
into our world.
Like we used to keep some cattle because we wanted to have our own meat. So did that way. So we had like little Dexter pedigree cattle.
Yeah.
But it just became too difficult. We didn't have enough land. I was working away. It was just too busy. So the alternative for good meat, I knew it was venison. And I just had this, I wanted to just do it myself.
Yeah.
So finally, like age 41, I just decided I'm going to do my DSC1. I'm going to make the leap. And like, obviously, the first year is like, it's a big deal. You're not talking about like shooting a rabbit. You're talking about a large animal that needs to be dealt with like ethically and properly.
Because the thing is, people don't realise you've got to pull the trigger. That's the first thing, hurdle to get over. But then you've got to do all of it afterwards. It's
like you make the mistake of like shooting 3 and you're on your own, and suddenly it's getting dark, and you're like,
did you bring a head torch?
No, you forget the head torch. You drop your bolt. You're looking for a bolt in the grass. It's just a disaster.
See, these are things that people don't talk about or warn you about, but it's the reality.
Instagram versus reality.
Exactly.
We all look like we're amazing shots, and everything's dead easy. You just see the meat packaged up, but it's like it's that middle bit that's brutal.
It's important, but it's also, I'm assuming you found the same as me, it's also really rewarding. It's also part of the experience of like, wow, I just did that. I did the whole thing. I gutted it. I broke it down into joints that I want to cook or that I want to give my family, you know,
it's
that reward.
Sitting down at the dinner table with the family and thinking like a week ago, like this deer was just, we hadn't met, you know. And now we're like, I'm feeding my family at the dinner table with us. It's unreal. And I think it's such an untapped resource in Britain, because there's a disconnect between
100%.
meat and where it comes from. And I always have this discussion. I'm not preachy. Everyone's welcome to do whatever they want. But if you're going to eat meat, it's important to understand where it comes from and the process, you know.
Even if you don't want to be a part of that, I think understanding it is important.
And sort of appreciate the work that goes into it, you know, and the fact that there's a lot of people doing it like really responsibly and ethically. And if we do allow the population just to get out of control, they become unhealthy. We're managing like a healthy population.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
So okay, so we just got interrupted. Come in. We're going to get one of the owners of the stand is just going to join us very quickly. Hello, this is Sandra, co-owner and founder of Flint Clothing. I live in my hoodie. I took my friend Michelle out rabbit hunting last night in my Flint hoodie because I love it. It's already found in Wow. So we're talking about newbies and getting into the sport.
Well, supporting, we're talking about like the welcoming community, and like Flint just came, I mean, it was great. That's how I met these guys through another stalker, like Josh and Jake at the, what was it, Souls Untapped and Westcapade.
Yes.
Yeah, so again,
I want to
just
do that
walking.
stuff. Okay, I saw that you did that as well, Souls Untapped. We're going to come back to that.
We will find Josh later. But
Is he here?
yeah, he's on the Rushford knife stand there. So.
Oh my god, I want to do spearfishing.
No, Cassandra and Connor, like, so supportive, welcoming, like, decked me out in gear. So yeah, it's been a really cool few months.
I love this.
I think I'm gonna let you.
Well, before you disappear, I'm gonna ask you both the same question, and we'll call it quits.
Yeah.
So, what has been the most important thing for you in terms of starting as a newbie that helped you, or what didn't you get that you would want to have as a newbie coming into the sport?
Permissions can be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It's so secretive, but I understand why people are secretive because, especially in Northern Ireland, they're fairly limited, and the suburbs are increasingly encroaching on ground that has deer on it, and the deer. So it's like a mix. Deers are getting hit by cars, and they're wrecking people's gardens, and it's waste, and it's dangerous. But at the same time, people aren't that thrilled to see me in my lovely Flint clothing walking past.
Dragging behind you.
So that's probably the only place that I've had any difficulty.
Is permission.
Maybe the conflict between the town and the country. Yeah.
So we need to talk about this in another episode, but I need to be coming over to Northern Ireland. We need to sort this stuff out, okay, guys? Landowners watching this, we need to have a discussion, okay? Because Northern Ireland is part of the UK, and we love you guys. You're part of our community, so give the permission. Even if it's only twice a year, it's better than nothing. We'll come back to that in another episode. So, same for you, really. Like, what, as a, coming into the sport, whether you've done nothing or a little bit or everything, what has been the best thing for you? Was it that people were welcoming? Was it that you found the equipment really easy? Was it that you got permission easy? What was the best thing for you? And or what didn't you get that you wish you got?
So I think the best thing about deer stalking in particular is the community.
Okay.
We couldn't have done anything without the community. Whether it's deer stalking, whether it's for the clothes, whether it's for myself. Like, I don't actively hunt. I want to try and get into it.
Okay, and he's taking hunting, Cassandra. That is done. It's done.
I've been stalking, but I haven't shot the trigger yet. And even just saying that, I'm more comfortable saying that now than I was a year ago.
That's interesting. So, if you're happy to answer this question, why haven't you pulled the trigger? What was the thing that stopped you?
So right at the beginning, it was just awareness. And now I'm aware, and I am a very sentient person. And that's just something emotionally that I need to just get over.
So I would agree and disagree with you. I think it's beautiful that you're a sentient person, and all animals are sentient beings, no matter the size of them.
I don't mean that not sentient people can't do that. It's just a physical border that I struggle with at this present, but it is something that I'm working on.
I love that you're working on it. You're welcome to come out with me at any time. And even if you don't ever get over it, the fact that you're still part of the community and watching and learning means that you can share those conversations with other people. So please keep doing it.
Fully recommend it. I am proud of it.
I love that. Well, it's my birthday and I love Flint clothing, so we need to go because I need to do some shopping. Thank you so much, guys.
Lovely to meet you.
My beautiful Katie Hargreaves, fine artist, who I'm a massive, massive fan of, as you all know. But what you may not know is that Katie, like me, came into shooting later in life. So in the vein of all these conversations we've been having to date, I wanted to ask Katie a bit more about her experience. Any tips for anyone?
So I think I was around 19 or 20. My boyfriend at the time was a really keen deer stalker, so he sort of introduced me into the world, because I grew up in the countryside, but I never was into shooting, hunting. My family didn't do it. So he was really, really passionate deer stalker, and so he sort of took me out on a few outings, and it took a few times to go out until I actually shot anything, because I was so concerned about doing it right. And actually what he taught me was like how, patience and like to not, and I never really went into it with the I really want to shoot something. I was just like, I just want to observe. And the first few times I was just watching what he did. And I had my camera with me, and so I was getting pictures of the deer and stuff. So then I sort of was like, well, I think maybe I want to have a shot. And so, yeah, I go out a lot with my camera.
Yeah.
So I'm more of a camera stalker than a rifle stalker at the moment.
So as someone that was, obviously it was a friend, it was someone that you knew really well, was there anything that they did to help you that was like particularly helpful that you think, oh, all newbies should have this kind of support advice? And was there anything now looking back missing that you were like, oh, actually it would have been good if they told me this or showed me this or warned me about this?
I can't think of anything like missing. I think the main sort of positive takeaway, I think, was just this patience. And if you can find someone to go out with who is not going to rush you, is very good at listening and letting you get on with things. And I think you're like that. You let people make mistakes a little bit. You don't over control them. If someone's trying to do it all for you, then you're not actually learning. And obviously you should be always asking questions and figuring out, like, am I doing this right? And I think it's good to feel like you don't know what you're doing, because then you just ask all the right questions and just
exactly.
But
amazing.
I think patience, and for me a big part of it was like ethical, the ethics of it, and I really, really wanted to make sure that I was definitely going to kill the animal. So I had a lot of opportunities that I wasn't quite comfortable with, or like the light was just a bit too dark and I could have taken the shot, probably would have been fine, but I was like, I don't want to risk it. So I think and that's something I still have today.
That should always be the decision, is that you are comfortable. You're the one pulling that trigger. You're the one that has the responsibility of whatever happens after you pull that trigger, so you should be comfortable no matter what. I love that. This is it's a really sweet story. It's kind of so aligned with what you do as an artist as well, and a wildlife artist. And do you feel like it's made you kind of more connected to the countryside than you were before, even though you were fully into it and the wildlife and the photography? Do you now feel much more connected to wildlife, the countryside, to food?
Actually, I think I've only really been into the photography since I started the stalking. So it's kind of gone hand in hand.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel so connected to wildlife. Like, I'm noticing more things, because when you slow down and go stalking, you're always looking for stuff. And it's amazing, like, when you start to hear different bird songs, and you get used to like different species of all sorts of animals, and like I just love all of them. I get so excited about all of them, especially little birds now.
We love you, yes.
But yeah, like I think I do feel very connected, and I'm taking lots of photos of wildlife, and I always work from photos, so sometimes they're not my own photos. I work with like wildlife photographers as well. But if I can work from my own photo, it's like even more connected to the work. And so I feel like, really connected to it, and it kind of just feeds the creativity. And like going out stalking, going out with my camera, I'm just like constantly taking in inspiration and then get ideas.
For this amazing artwork that I'm like the biggest fan. I'm literally #1 fan. Anyone out there that thinks that you're #1 fan, you're not. Just saying, because it's me. But thank you so much. All right, we're going to talk again. I think you've got a lot to offer, and thank you for your kind of insight as someone coming in later. What helped you and what you've learned. Hopefully someone out there, or several people out there, are going to learn from that as well. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of the show.
I go.